Bitterly cold air has been working in from Canada into some of the northern US states. Now, in Chicago O'Hare International Airport, there are reports of over 1,000 flight cancellations yesterday. One plane actually skidded off the runway due to the snowy weather. So we have been seeing some disruption, and there's more snow to come as well. This weather front's bringing around about 15 to 25 centimetres of snow, with the heaviest falls around the border between Canada and those US states. But the colder air is pushing all the way further southwards. Could even see a little bit of snow as far south in Tennessee. It is unusual to see air this cold in November. Now, over the next few days, that cold air is going to stick around. So in Montreal, temperatures stay below freezing. Winnipeg, very cold too. Even in Boston and New York, temperatures struggling to get much above freezing as we look at the weather picture into Wednesday. Now, one of the consequences of this area of high pressure that builds in that cold air across the Midwest is that we get some very tightly packed isobars, and that's sending a stream of very strong winds around the western Gulf of Mexico, slamming into the south coast of Mexico around Veracruz. Could get gusts of wind here around 60 miles an hour or so, with plenty of thunderstorm activity. So unusually windy weather for parts of Mexico, partly as a result of the cold air in the US. Now for South Africa, we've got some severe thunderstorms on the weather menu over the next few days. These could bring some localised flash flooding across southern and eastern areas, but there is also the scope for getting some fairly large hail as well. So we'll be keeping a close eye on storms across this part of southern Africa over the next few days. Australia, well, the wildfires continue to burn, I'm afraid, across parts of New South Wales and Queensland. The forecast is for it to stay dry. However, it won't be as windy here on Wednesday as it was on Tuesday, so that will give firefighters at least less hazardous conditions to work in and hopefully extinguish some of those blazes. Now, looking at the weather further north, just to the east of the Philippines, this area of cloud has now developed into a tropical depression. Now, I don't think it's going to strengthen a great deal, but the big problem with this depression is just how slow it's going to be moving. Running you through the forecast over the next 3 or 4 days, you can see it's going to be bringing torrential, persistent rain, particularly to the eastern and northeastern side of Luzon, where I think we could see some significant flooding issues building in by the time we get to the weekend. Now, the weather in Europe continues to be quite stormy around the Mediterranean, and if you're a skiing fan like I am, you'll be pleased to hear that both the Pyrenees and Alps have seen lots of heavy snow over recent days. We're going to see more of that snow to come through Wednesday, another batch coming through on Thursday as well. So it's looking good for the start of the ski season, which still for most resorts is a month away.